I'll start first in English, and I would like to ask you, what is your reaction right now about the actual situation at this moment in Venezuela? We're seeing images of people taking to the streets. We've seen an image of an opposition leader allegedly kidnapped. There's been deaths. What is your reaction right now?
I mean, that's the people defending our right to be free, our right to elect a new president. On Sunday, we elect a new president. Edmundo González Urrutia is the elected president of Venezuela, against all odds, against repression, against torture, against kidnap, not only leaders, also activists from their houses, from their home. So in this moment, there is our people, our citizens struggle in a pacific way to achieve democracy, to achieve liberty in this moment back in Venezuela. Edmundo González Urrutia is our legitimate candidate. In this moment is the elected president of Venezuela. Maduro it's not only a dictator in this moment. Maduro is trying to commit fraud. Is trying to steal an election in the eyes of the international community, and also, of course, our people, our Venezuelan people back in our hometown, Venezuela.
How can you be so sure that Maduro and the Maduro government stole this election?
Not only because all the polls in the past 3 months, not only because we have the proof. In this moment, you can type on your PC, in your phone, elections2024.com, and you can see every single one we call act. It's like an invoice. It's like the proof that every table in the country, every municipality, every state, the result. As you know, Maduro controlled the National Electoral Committee back in Venezuela. Today is Tuesday. Since Sunday, they didn't show the result in every municipality, in every state of Venezuela. Already, we have the proof. We public in our webpage to prove not only the victory of Edmundo González Urrutia, also the fraud of Maduro trying to not only like a mock to all Venezuelans, also to all the world. In Venezuela, we have Russians, we have Chinese trying to support Maduro. We need in this moment the support of the international community to make possible the presidential term of Edmundo González Urrutia, and of course make possible a pacific and democratic transition back in Venezuela.
Is it possible in Venezuela for the opposition group to go to the courts and to challenge the results that were released by the Maduro government?
I mean, we got all the institutions kidnapped by the regime. Also, the National Electoral Council back in Venezuela is already like epic movement, like a miracle that we surpass the persecution to María Corina Machado, the censorship in the media back in Venezuela. 5 million Venezuelans can allow to vote on past Sunday in Venezuela. Already we surpass, we achieve all that obstacles. In this moment, all that powers must be independent in Venezuela. We are in a dictatorship regime. There are no other instance that we can go to achieve or make valid our votation. In this moment, it's the people defending our rights in the pacific struggle in the streets. In this moment, maybe 11 or 12 people are killed by the Maduro regime only for protest, only for make a statement for his votes on the past Sunday back in Venezuela.
Have you lost hope that the opposition in Venezuela can no longer change the government in a peaceful fashion by going to the polls and exercising the right to vote? Because this is not the first time that there's been an election where the Maduro government has allegedly committed fraud.
I have a profound faith, not only in our people, that are still in the street, they are still protesting, resist, with a lot of resilience, by the way, trying to live with freedom in the democratic way to gain again the only, electric energy that you gain for granted. We're back in Venezuela, we don't have energy, we don't have food, we don't have simple things like medicine. So the people are trying to achieve our democracy. We can lose our faith. Not only, I insist, in democracy, in ourselves, in the way that we can be free. I want to the international community support our Venezuelan people in the streets. Not only with diplomatic answers. We need to make movement. We need to make actions possible to regain democracy. If we allow impunity from the fraud for Maduro, that Ortega back in Nicaragua, they still repeat the situation. The Castro regime in Cuba, Putin back in Russia with Ukraine, Lukashenko in Belarus. We need make accountable these kind of dictators for make possible not only democracy back in Venezuela, in around the world. We need to make accountable these kind of regimes.
What would you like the Biden administration to do right now as it relates to Venezuela?
President Biden spoke with President Lula maybe hours ago. We need that. We need the Latin American region recognize the triumph of Edmundo González Urrutia. We need that President Biden, President Trudeau call the new elect president Edmundo González Urrutia. It's the best recognition, not only for Edmundo, it's for the Venezuelan people that are struggling for her freedom and liberty and democracy, and again, make accountable Maduro. Peru already did it. Peru recognized Edmundo González Urrutia as the elect president of Venezuela. That's not only a symbolic declaration, it's not a symbolic movement, it's a statement for democracy. It's a statement for the people that are struggling back in Venezuela.
Well, in your case, much of the world recognized you as the legitimate president of Venezuela, yet in 4 years you were unable to change the regime. What would be different this time around?
Well, the first thing is we can allow the normalization of a dictatorship, if we can vote, if we can mobilize, if we can make accountable these kind of regimes, we need to do it. We can be like, okay, we tried this the last year and didn't work. It's the correct thing to do. You can allow, I insist, a fraud election can be maybe not only a frustration for our people, for also for democracy. What can be different? The company of the free world. What can be different? That we know that Maduro is not only vulnerable to diplomatic pressure, but also for make accountable for his crimes. It's not an easy path to walk. I know that. Exiled in this moment, with my family tortured, with my team in jail also. But it's the correct path to do. We need to recover our democracy. We need to make possible a Pacific transition. We voted the past Sunday, and Maduro want to steal that election. We need to our people achieve a Pacific transition with what we can in our power, the pressure, the sanctions, the recognition, and the possible negotiation in the near future. In the near future, if Maduro recognize the victory of Edmundo González and Venezuela.
I'm sure you have seen the video from Venezuela of the alleged kidnapping of Freddy Superlano,
Yeah,
and
of
I
course,
think
it's
two
my friend.
others. What went through your mind when you saw that? What was happening there?
Well, I mean, we have several leaders in the jail. 300 people in this moment are in jail only for protest. Freddy Superlano was elected governor of Barinas, the hometown of Chavez. Only Chavez ruled or governed Barinas in the past 20 years. Freddy Superlano was the first one of beat the Chavez family in Barinas. He supported María Corina Machado, he supported Edmundo González Urrutia, and he's kidnapped in this moment when we are talking. His family very worried about his wife, his sons. I mean, he is paying the cost for support María Corina Machado, for trying to count every vote, to show to the world the acts, the proof that we have to make Edmundo González Urrutia elect president of Venezuela. Is the pay that we are in this moment for only resist that dictatorship. Freddy Superlano is my friend, es mi amigo, a good and noble human being, a good person, and he's passed through all this only for defending our democracy in this moment back in Venezuela.
Are you concerned about his life right now?
I'm concerned about his life. I'm concerned about the María Corina's life. I'm concerned about the Edmundo González Urrutia life also. We can take by the easy way the threat, the menace from the regime, and they are threatening our people back in this moment. In jail, hundreds of people, when we're talking in this moment, in this today, I mean, the past 5 years, 10 years, Maduro are facing international trial for commit not only crimes against humanity, also for terrorism, also for drug trafficking. It's the kind of regime that we are facing back in Venezuela. So yes, we are very concerned about the life of Freddy Superlano and also María Corina Machado and Edmundo González Urrutia.
Something similar to this almost happened to you in Venezuela, where there was an attempt to kidnap you. Was it similar to what happened to Freddy Superlano?
Several times. I mean, I survived 7 maybe tryings to kill me and my family. They kidnapped me back in 2019. They kidnapped my team, my family. My uncle was tortured in a military jail back in Venezuela in 2019, only for being my uncle, only for being part of my family, also with my team. So it's very sad, you know, when you saw that a good person, a good leader, father of 6 kids in this moment is kidnapped, is disappeared. They didn't tell the family where he is. In this moment, he's disappeared, not only kidnapped by the regime, also disappeared, and we are afraid for his life.
Do you have any regrets about the 4 years that you were recognized by so many countries in the world as president of Venezuela, that you were not able to accomplish more?
Well, our biggest one is Maduro is still there, you know. Our people is still seeking for freedom, but the good news is we are alive. We are free and alive to keep the struggle, to support our people, to denounce Maduro and his regime, and in this moment with María Corina and Edmundo, of course, learn about what is supposed or what mean to confront that kind of regimes. We need to achieve our democracy if we want to stop migration, if we want to stop the threat that Russia, China, and Iran represent in this continent. Maduro is the first ally of Putin, of Xi Jinping, of Tehran in this moment. They send their ships to Venezuela, to Cuba. They send military groups like Wagner Group back to Venezuela. So Maduro is not only a threat to our people, Maduro is a real menace to all America.
Now, millions of Venezuelans have left their homeland in recent years. Do you expect after these election results to see more Venezuelans leaving the country?
If we can recover our democracy, you will see millions of Venezuela return to our country. Millions of Venezuela achieve a good transition. You're going to see a better relation, economic relation between Venezuela and the US. As you know, Venezuela is the biggest country in the world with the largest oil reserve in all the world. I mean, it's not only about Venezuelans, I have to say. It's also about stability. It's also about the energy sector. It's also about to stop migration. If Maduro get impunity in this process, you will see a lot of migrants around Latin America, a lot of Venezuelan migrants passing through Darien Gap, passing through the Rio Bravo. So we need to achieve this democracy, our democracy, not only for Venezuelans, also for the democracy around the world, to stop Putin, to stop that kind of regimes, and to make possible good transitions. The democracy is under attack in Venezuela and also around the world. We need to make a good statement that we don't gonna support that kind of regime, and the impunity is over for that kind of dictators.
Are you able to return to Venezuela?
If I return to Venezuela in this moment, they will send me to the jail. In the best of the cases, I have 33 menas of jail in Venezuela. The last one yesterday from the Maduro himself. So they threatened me, my family. They also in jail my family, as I said minutes ago. So no, but I want to. I want to be in my country. I want to be struggling by our democracy. I want to be for the reconstruction of Venezuela, like millions others Venezuelans, not only in the US, also around the world.
Former President Juan Guaidó, thank you very much for speaking to us.